She told me at the baseline, yeah, and everything will be fine. Oh, yeah. She told me at the sound of the drums, to set the mood and foundation. She told me at the baseline, yeah, and everything will be fine. Oh, yeah. She told me at the sound of the drums, to set the mood and foundation.
Hey there, sweet souls. How are you? It's your Force Fairy here. Nice to see you again. Well, for today's pick a card, we are asking for messages from Spirit. Spirit messages. Take a look at the cards at the decks. We got pile number 1. This is blue obsidian. I think it's also called lava rock. Pile number 2, this is crazy lace agate heart. And pile number 3, you have the sodalite heart. So take a look at pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Take a moment to listen to your intuition. Which way does your intuition lead you? Does it lead you to pile number 1, 2, or 3, to the blue obsidian, to the crazy lace agate, or to the sodalite heart? And you make your choice, pick your pile, and I'll see you in your read. Hey there, pile number 1. How are you? It's your Force Fairy here. Nice to see you again. Well, Libra and Free Spirit wanted to be seen. The question today, it's funny, Free Spirit. The question for today's pick a card is, what messages does Spirit want you to know right now? Oh, there's 2. I've never had 2 before. Do I take it? I guess I am. I've never had 2 of these. Well, let's see if we can fit it on. We might have to do something about that. Let's just see what your totem animal is. I'm focused in on those cards there. What messages does Spirit want you to know now? What are the messages that Spirit wants you to know? Oh my goodness, there's 2 of these. It's because the cards are sticking. Okay, I'm going to move my feather here. I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put one here and one up here. This is going to be a very different, I can already tell, pile number 3, this is going to be a very different table. Alright, let's get Buddha card and see what comes out with the Buddha. What messages does Spirit, right there, didn't even finish. What messages does Spirit, I actually want, I'm going to do it this way. Alright, let's get a fairy. I'm going to do this differently, I think. And this might change how I do next week's pick a card with the new decks that I've got ready to go. Now, what messages does Spirit want pile number 3 to have? Let's do that. Let's do the Galactic Heritage cards. What messages does Spirit, right there? Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. we'll see what the tarot does. What messages does Spirit want? Pile number 3. Oh, that's pile number 3. I'm on pile number 1. My apologies. Those 2 cards are really... I'm just saying. It's very interesting. Now, how am I going to do this? All right, let's do this. We'll take the fairies. No, we'll take the... Yes, fairies will go down here. All right. We'll put one of these back down here. All right. We will take these ones here. Galactic can go up here. Or one here and one here. This is real. I'm not gonna lie, this is really throwing me off. Because I've never had 2 of those. Those are pretty, for me as a reader, those are powerful cards. These ones, I've had them forever. All right, let's just see what this next tarot deck has got. Every time I shuffle those ones, it blows away. All right, these big ones down here. So what, right there, let's do 1, 2, 3, and I think I can fit 1 more. All right. And then the pandas. What messages does your spirit guides, the spirit, just basically spirit, want for you? And I kept calling you pile number 3. And this is pile number 1. So pile number 1. My apologies if I called you pile number 3 with other shuffles. And these cards, because we're experiencing a lot of humidity here in the 100 Acre Woods. So these cards are very sticky. Two, and I'll take the top one here. 3. And then do we have space for a little baby card? I believe we do. Or do we? Oh, I turned it over. I am just all over the place. Let's see what I can do. All right. Now, I'm going to move these over just a bit. See, I think I've got to do this. I've got to put this one up here. And that gives room for that guy. I'm going to do this and then put these ones that one up there. It all started pile number 1 with these 2 cards coming out at the same time. Again. Okay, I think I got it. My apologies for the chaos, it seems. All right, so let's start with Uranus. Uranus is our first card out. Let's just take a look. I kind of know what this card is about. It's about being different. And as this table has really taken me a minute to put together, let's just see what the planet has, Uranus, at the very end here. What makes me special? Well, what makes this special, take pile number 1, is these 2 cards right here. What makes me special? Where in life am I most eccentric? Where do I want to create change, eccentricity, unpredictable change, rebellion, and reform? So now I'm curious. I want to see what this... So the law of frequency, this is what your spirit guides, or your spirit wants you to know. And the law of transmutation, no doubt, look at how similar they are, just in colors alone. No doubt they wanted to come out together. Okay, wow. This is, wow. All right. Let's get to it, because I'm kind of at a loss for words, because this is the Cosmic Deck of Initiation. This deck has been with me for a while, and so sometimes I have to put it away because there's a lot of powerful messages and energy in these cards, and it's the law of frequency. Well, right there, law of transmutation. You rise above mundane frustrations. And that's, Uranus is very Aquarius to me, rules Aquarius, and Aquarians can do that very easily. You rise above mundane frustrations and aggravations to see what lessons are contained therein. You find strength within weakness and turn it into advantage. Through this energy, you transform yourself. Faith is the fuel for this energy. Through transformation, you see the light of through transformation, you use the light instead of just fueling it. This is a flowing process, one in which inner richness and depth are able to surface and become an expression of the soul. Along with that, Spirit wants you to know that energy shift and balance. The energy shift and balance is difficult. New levels are being established. Communication with others flow in new patterns. The intensity of your inner frequency is changing. So too is your perception of several situations. New aspects within bring new levels of frequency with which to work. As you raise your energy level, you raise your frequency and take the next step in evolution. New frequency on which you broadcast. This is a very powerful message about you changing frequencies and transmuting the lower frequencies that into higher frequencies, of you transmuting that energy, and we are being pumped with low vibing energies, frequencies. Right now, the 440 hertz, Rockefeller, I guess, I don't even know, is being pumped out into, when you think about even sonic weaponry, frequencies, there's a lot of study and I dare say experiments going on with frequencies. With the law of transmutation, you're transmuting energies, pile number 1, all the time. This is what Spirit is saying. And that you're doing it flawlessly. You're doing it because of, maybe you do have a placement in your chart. Sorry, I just had to sit there for a minute and listen to what I'm getting. As an example, I have Uranus in the 12th house. Apparently, this is something I would have to go back and really look into it again. I know it's there. I know it has to, and my 12th house is Scorpio, so I know that this law of transmutation, I know this law very well. I have been transmuting negative into positive energies every day since I can remember, and it's just, and I've always been thought of as optimistic. Oh, you're so optimistic. Oh, you're so friendly and kind. And that's because I take energies that are lower vibing, that are negative, and I transmute them into positivity. It's funny that the two cards that came out, not that it made me feel uncomfortable, it was just so powerful that the whole spread was sort of I was set off. And then two of these, and then. So when I turn them over to see the law of frequency, and that you are changing the radio station, you are changing the dial to a different frequency, that you have been transmuting, that it almost seems insignificant. The lower frequencies, you don't deal with them. You don't have anything to do with them. You dismiss them. If you want to be a complainer, if you want to be a martyr, if you want to be a sad sack, I really don't have time for you. Uranus is very much like, yeah, okay, sure. I'm a rebel in the way that this is you, pile number one. You are a rebel in the way that you either deal or don't deal with people based on their frequency, based on how much do I have to transmute your negative energy into positivity. This could show up at work, this could show up in your family, this could show up at home. Let's take a look at you, and you have two eagles. See, this is powerful. This is a powerful vision, perception, protection, intuition, focus, candor, achievement, dominance. And dove, look at this. Forgiveness, health, tranquility, deliverance, liberation, freedom, union. Both of these and both of these totem animals are very powerful. The power of forgiveness is key to a lot of frequency change, of the law of frequency. Forgiving those that have hurt you, letting go of all, whether it be discrepancies or people who have wronged you, or again, that law of transmutation. I'm really focused in on the transmutation because before you change frequencies, it's like you have to go through that energy transformation of being able to transmute that negative into positive, and then at some point you just change the channel and rise to a different frequency where you don't even deal with it anymore. And I have two birds here. If you've ever seen an eagle, they're massive. If you've ever seen a dove, it's like they float. Again, eagles do as well, but just the size difference. So but still powerful energies. Wow. I'm going to see what the fairies have. 3 graces. Cooperative adventures with friends, joy, sharing, new partnerships that are fun. This really speaks to me of finding others that are also on the same frequency, that are also able to take negative situations, negative energies that are optimistic, that can transmute them, that can turn someone's day around just with a few kind words, with a smile, with a look, with a congratulatory, pat on the back. And you can feel the energy changing. These are energy wielders. There's a lot of energy wielders out there that can use energy to manipulate or use energy to invigorate, to uplift. Spirit is telling me that you are one of these energy wielders that changes people's energies, changes their day, and it's day to day. Now, you don't want codependencies that then rely on you to make them happy. It's not your job to make someone happy, but if you go through a checkout line at a grocery store or something, and you can tell this young person has had a rough day, and just by changing their energy, giving them a compliment, saying you're doing a great job, when is your shift over, you only have a couple hours left, you got this. This changes their energy. These are you, pile number one, you're an energy wielder that wields their energy of positivity, of encouragement, of the law of frequency. It has grace. I see grace being highlighted by Spirit as well. That you are finding those around you as well that are able to do the transmutation, that are able to change their own frequency to that of a higher frequency. 3 graces. Let's see what the fairies have to say. 3 graces. That's the first one. 3 graces. Find like-minded souls to work with. A happy workplace. A new community is being birthed. Meeting new friends who feel like family. Overcoming trust issues with other people. Sharing, understanding. Cooperation brings new opportunities. Joint business ventures. Growth of new friendships and relationships. Bringing out play, delight, and work that is in tune with your purpose and talents. Celebration of new beginnings. Dance and gentle movement. Synchronize fate of yourself with 2 or more like-minded beings with similar outlooks. Training, ideas, beliefs, new businesses. Ventures with friends, amiable interactions with strangers, feeling happy and connected to female friends, feeling strong bonds with people although you have just met them, creating a working magical circle built on trust, delight, security, and friendship, rejoicing in femininity and feminine energies. That's what the 3 graces is speaking of. Unwavering reassurance. You unfold to the best of your ability, which is exactly what the 3 graces talks about. That's exactly what the law of transmutation talks about, and the law of frequency. Unwavering reassurance. Let's take a look. That's 17. When you add that together, that's number 8. And that's the number of money, just so you know. Behind the mind and motivation spins the wheel of law, a colorful blur of wisdom in action. Prosperity, in spiritual and material matters, you are yours to be had. For the Buddha holds the treasure vase, the 8 of the 8 auspicious symbols, securely in the Dhyana Mudra, meditation gesture. Allow your mind to step beyond pride and wants, and the union of awareness and compassion will thrive. And again, that speaks upon what the 3 graces, cooperative ventures with friends, joy, sharing, new partnerships that are fun, and having fun and being joyful is a higher frequency than what is out there right now. Emptiness, 108. And again, we talk about the law of transmutation. Forgiveness and gratitude. Wow. This is a powerful, I kind of knew it when those 2 cards came out. This is very powerful. Pile number 1, that your spirit wants you to know just how powerful you are, just how unwavering you are in this optimism. This is what makes you different with the Uranus. When everyone is sad and lonely, when everyone is opinionated, disgruntled, just have discrepancies, are offended, and this aggressive, negative energy, and Uranus is the rebel. Uranus goes against the grain. And if going against the grain, pile number 1 is being happy and joyful and grateful and forgiving those who are in the low. I mean, if you're in the low frequencies, I can transmute only a little bit for you, but then my energies go elsewhere towards those that are able to dismiss, to rise above, to not pay attention to, not hold on to, not get infected with this negative energy. You, pile number 1, I'm really feeling, again, with the ego, flying high above all of the situations, all of the negativity. With the dove represents peace. The dove represents gratitude, that energy of light, of God, and forgiving those for getting caught up in those lower energies, but not having to deal with them. You unfold to the best of your ability. Beautiful. Let's take a look at the galactic heritage. Emptiness, 108. That's the last card in this deck. Let's take a look. Why is it 108? Orion light. Emptiness. Imagine taking off in a plane. At first it's bumpy and the scenery is filled with many distracting things. This represents the mind. As you take off and fly through the clouds, and we have two birds, the eagle and the dove right here, fly through the clouds. It is passing through the emotions. Sometimes there is bumpiness in the clouds. Eventually you rise above the clouds and there is nothing but endless empty sky. This is your true state of consciousness, an endless empty field of awareness that contains nothing. There are no opinions or desires, only light. The Orion light within you, the sky, has always existed and always will. When you recognize this, you are awakened. Wow. And that's exactly what the law of frequency talked about. Wow. 84. Wow. 84. While dolphins have been known as intelligent beings for hundreds of years, they have still been hunted, killed, and seen as animals. Yet dolphin consciousness does more than simply forgive humans. Dolphins innately see humans as aspects of the Creator, and in doing so, they see the big picture and do not polarize themselves into victims and perpetrators. This card reminds you to move beyond forgiveness, which is often polarized. See all beings, even those who have hurt you, as aspects of creation. The lessons they provide you enhance your spiritual growth. Be grateful for them and for the lessons. Wow. That is transmutation right there. All right, let's get into the tarot. This is powerful. Princess of Cups. I see the Princess of Cups or the Page of Cups as forgiveness. We'll see what this creator has said. And the Eight of Wands, communication. Communicating. I see a bridge as well. I think this card in particular talks about bridging with communication. Let's take a look at the Four of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups. Again, this really speaks to the three graces, to the law of frequency. Five of Wands, the lower frequencies, the opinions of others. And the King of Cups, and being able to control your own emotions, as the King of Cups does. Let's see what the pandas have to say. Strength. The Hanged Man, taking a look at things from, I dare say, a higher perspective. And the Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady. And I see this coin and this coin, slow and steady movement forward. Okay. Let's take a look at the tarot. The Light and Shadow. The Princess of Cups. Princess of Cups. The Princess of Cups is imbued with the gracefulness, and we have the three graces, and good humor of the wise dolphin right here, and enriched by the myriad qualities of lotus, turtle, and seabird. In an individual, the princess creates a virtuous, youthful character, an expert swimmer in the seas of life, a playful, exuberant personality at home and in the gorgeous uncertainties of the wide world. Well, isn't that what this whole read has been about? And the tarot is just confirming what your spirit guides. I'm going to say spirit guides, but what spirit wants you to know, sweet pile number one, is stay in that dolphin energy of that playfulness, of that forgiveness, that gratitude for what you have, not, sort of pining over what you don't have, of finding those that can not only transmute on a daily those negative energies into positivity, but then to rise above it all, as the eagle does, as the dove peacefully wants to find peace of mind, peace within. The Eight of Wands. Wow. This is Powerful. 8 of Wands. Activity, energy, growth, the upward and outward movement of all life, the expansive, extroverted impulse of all growing things, the interweaving of individual forces that become the fabric of vital strength. And we have the strength card with the pandas right up there. Absolutely. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. We have 4 of these cards. Let's go to the 4 of Pentacles first. The 4 of Pentacles. Control, conservation, frugality, and security. And it's almost like this card speaks to me about looking towards security, but not holding on too tightly to it. The 10 of Cups is right next to it, which is divine love, harmony, and fulfillment. And even if you only have 4 pentacles, this Knight of Pentacles up here is saying slow and steady will earn you the 10 of Pentacles. But for now, the 10 of Cups, my goodness, 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is competition, diversity, tension, and the reality of it. So as I said, this is the lower frequencies pulling you back down into that of opinions, of whether they're solicited or unsolicited, of really just these are energies from others that may not be aligned with your frequency. And the King of Cups. So the King of Cups just rises above. And the King of Cups is emotional control, diplomatic, and stability. Stability in the emotions with the 10 of Cups, with the Princess of Cups, with communicating what it is that he sees, that he feels, that he can control the mind and the heart. The reason being is because the mind does and can dictate what the heart, what the emotions feel. And with the King of Cups, he's got complete control. Now, the Knight of Pentacles. Let's see what the pandas have for you. Pile number 1. This is a beautiful read, a confirmation for a lot of you that you are, in fact, your optimism, that people who might have like tried to bring you down by saying you're always so optimistic. That's I see this a lot in the spiritual community, that it's fake, right? That your optimism is fake, that you're putting on an act, when really, no, that's who you are, and it's because you are an energy. You can transmute that energy. You know the law of transmutation. You know the law of frequency. You know that when you are playful, when you are optimistic, when you are excited about life, that you see the glass as half full rather than half empty, this is what's going to bring you the inner satisfaction, inner enlightenment. You can see your soul's purpose on this earth through love, through the competition, through the combative energies of what's all around. If you can transmute that, rise above with the eagle. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady progress forward. Absolutely. I'm loving this for you, pile number 1. Where are the pentacles in my little pandas? Cups and Pentacles. There we go. The Knight. The Knight of Pentacles. He is slow and steady, but he wins the race. I always keep my eyes on the prize. Every day I am one paw closer to my goal. Every day I rock and I panda roll. The light attributes of this Knight of Pentacles is focused, dedicated, and result-driven, the ultimate productivity beast. And that is so true when it comes to being an energy wielder. Sometimes you need to take a break, though. And that's where being alone, meditating, going for a walk by yourself, a bike ride, a drive. Sometimes I'll just get in the car and drive. Because you see the prize, you see the goal, and you are going to reach the goal, even if it takes you days, weeks, months, years. It doesn't matter, because you have that goal in mind. The Hanged Man, or in this case, the Hanged Panda. This is a cute little card. This ab work is dreadful. Pandas aren't supposed to do abs, but I guess I'll just have to. Hang in there. The universe has put me on the spot for a reason. I think I'm gonna sneeze any moment now. Any moment. I must be patient. Maybe I should switch to a diet by booze. I'm really putting on some weight. The light attributes is suspension, patience, processing lessons, and rising above the discomfort, which is the ego. And then, of course, the strength card. The strength card is all about strength comes in all shapes and sizes. Though we are not all as ferocious as a lion or the big cats of the wild, we are powerful in our own ways. There is power to be had when we choose to see ourselves for who we really are and what we're capable of. I'm good at eating, for one, and Mousy here is an expert swordsman. We are hashtag cute but fierce. Light attributes, softness, inner strength, self-acceptance, and autonomy. And that's your spirit's messages, is that your strength comes within, that you are, pile number one, in fact, an energy wielder, someone that can transmute energies, that does it every day, day in and day out, as the Knight of Pentacles says, that you, as with the King of Cups, you are very much aware of what your inner, the wealth of your inner emotional strength and control, and the ability to rise above, as the eagle does, above the lower frequencies, above the negativity. And that is what makes you a rebel with the Uranus card there, is in fact being positive, being loving, it's unconditional, being forgiving, having gratitude for the lessons that you've learned from those that try to battle you and keep you down. You're taking a look at them from a different perspective. And with the pandas, a very playful and humorous perspective. Well, I guess pandas aren't meant to do abs, but here I am. That this Princess of Cups, and the communication, the Eight of Wands, is you communicating that which you love, that which you believe, and listening to your inner self, listening to your soul's purpose and living it and walking it day in and day out and never giving up, and finding those with the three graces that also are on the same frequency. Wow, that was powerful. That was powerful, pile number one, and that's what I see for you. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care. From your forest fairy. Bye for now. Hey there, pile number two. How are you? It's your forest fairy here. Nice to see you again. Well, pile number two, these are messages from Spirit. From your Spirit team, or just from Spirit? I'm just going to say from Spirit. Now, pile number one, I had two of these cards come out, and it really set me off. I almost apologize for, it was a long read, I'll tell you that. So it's because we're experiencing here in the 100 Acre Woods a lot of humidity, so everything is sticky, everything is sticking to the table, sticking to each other. There it is right there, totem. And so with that, pile number one, my goodness, was a long read. So what messages does your spirit, the spirit, want to give to you? I almost want to say your spirit team. Messages for you, pile number two. That one, look at that. That's a beautiful image. Yeah, and they got two of these cards because they stuck, right? Pile number one, and it's beautiful. I was kind of taken aback, so I had to sort of take a moment and get myself ready for this read, because that one really, I don't know, it really spoke to me. All right, so what are your messages from Spirit? Pile number two. One more. What are your messages from Spirit? Pile number two. Your messages from Spirit, pile number two. Again, they're all sticky. All right, let's get some tarot up. And it's these thinner cards. I don't know what they call cardstock. They're starting to curl and bend. the thinner cardstock will do it. Messages for you, for you, pile number 2. Messages from Spirit. What does Spirit want to tell pile number 2? Pile number 1 had some pretty powerful messages, I do have to say. So we'll see what comes out for you guys. Pile number 2. Messages from Spirit. Messages from Spirit for pile number 2. Let's do these. I see 1, 2, and 3. And then finally, I love these panda cards. I've got a set of cards for next week, since this is the last pick a card of the week. I'm excited, but I'm going to miss these panda cards, I'm not going to lie. So, what are the messages from Spirit? I'm going to take that top one for pile number 2. Those ones are sticking. I'm going to take them both. They're sticky, I'll tell you that. I think it's just 2, or is it 3? It's just 2. Let's do it. Hold on. And we'll move Fairy over just a bit to fit one of the little baby cards in there. So what are the messages from Spirit? They're there for pile number 2. We got them all. Okay. Let's take a look. We'll go with the astrological first. Aquarius. I haven't seen this one. Aquarius. You could have Aquarius in your chart or be Sun, Moon, Rising, or Progressed. Aquarius, or what is in that 11th house of yours. Aquarius, the strengths, intelligent, inventive. They are the inventors, absolutely. Humanistic, friendly, altruistic, sociable, reformative. The weaknesses, rebel without a cause, aloof, scattered-brained, irresponsible, impersonal. So, we're starting off with the energy of Aquarius, with intellect, with humanity. Let's take a look at this one. Law of compensation. The law of compensation. Let's take a look. The law of compensation. For everything that goes out, an equal measure returns to you. The universe always gives a balanced measure. You cannot expect to receive unless you give. The more universal the release, the more abundant the return. The more difficult it is to let go and move on, the greater the potential you open for yourself. For every action, there is a reaction. Loss becomes gain, and that's the law of compensation. For everything that goes out, an equal measure returns to you. So, the question is, pile number 2, what are you putting out? Because for everything that goes out, an equal measure returns to you. The universe always gives a balanced measure. What are you putting out there? That's a good question, isn't it? Let's see what the fairies have to say. The littlest fairy. I've seen this littlest fairy, and you might feel as if the littlest fairy appreciate the beauty and value of the exquisite and small. And it could very well be that you feel small, that you feel that only one of me, there's only one of me, and there's so many of them. And they're loud. And they make the rules. They pass the laws. They censor the media. They censor what I can say, what I can't say. They make the bills, the laws. This is very interesting. that if you feel little, and it's right above that law of compensation, if you feel little, that what you say and do doesn't really make a difference, that's what you're going to get back in equal measure. The littlest fairy. Let's take a look at totem before we read the fairy. Ooh, spider. Reevaluating, mystery, growth, empowerment, responsibility, patience, progression, accomplishment, and complexity. Let's read that littlest fairy as we keep in mind the spider, the complexity of the society, of complexity of the interaction between humans. And again, I say humans because Aquarius is very kind of like these galactic cards. Aquarius energy is very out of this world, literally, on so many different levels. Their intellect is really above all. Above all. Let's take a look at the littlest fairy. Aquarius, above all. How can you be so intelligent, Aquarius? Underestimating the significance of a small start, overlooking details, being overwhelmed by the big picture, and not understanding its components or its complexity. Interesting. Wanting things to be bigger, grander, more noticeable, feeling resentment for being overlooked, wondering if anyone notices the 1,000 small things you do that create a life, overlooking the small things another does. That's very much about the law of compensation. So if you overlook the small things that others do for you, with you, then you will be overlooked. That's very interesting. Walking over or through treasures like fairy wings or destroying something precious, insensitivity to the little things. Modesty. A deliciously small sense of scale, miniatures, natural beauty that may only last a few minutes. Dew on the grass, a rainbow in a rainbow in a crystal, a belief, and gentle breeze on a warm summer's day, a reflection on water. All these things are precious. Today, make an offering and give thanks for the small treasures within your life. Be generous with your appreciation. The law of compensation. The more generous you with your appreciation, the more appreciation you will get back. Keep things small and beautiful. Something needs to be in miniature to be at the right size. Do not criticize something, a gentle tendril, a new plant pushing through soil, for not being large in size yet. Do not criticize it. No. Break down a task into smaller components and take baby steps. Give thanks for each small step along the way. Absolutely. And it's funny when I read the fairy message, your spirit is saying that, again, these are intelligent things with the Aquarius card here. Being humanistic, seeing that when others get overlooked, that's when you're actually overlooking yourselves when you overlook other humans. So with Aquarius, it's being humanistic, friendly, altruistic, social. Really reforming. What are you reforming? Are you reforming that the small things matter? Or is it, and again, we get programmed into thinking having fast cars and lots of money and big houses. I always thought, even when I was younger, I was never impressed with big mansions because I thought, it's more I have to clean, and never really putting two and two together that if you have a big house like that, someone else cleans it. I never thought that. I thought if I worked hard for that house, that's just more house I have to clean. I'd rather have a bigger bank account, save on a house, have a smaller little modest house, or in this case, my house is modest, but I have 100 acres behind me, right? So there's a lot of small little things, as the littlest fairy talks about, and as law of compensation, what you give is what you get. So if you overlook people, if you ignore the small little successes, that you're going to get ignored, you're going to get overlooked, because that's what you're putting out into the universe. Now, let's take a look at Buddha, rising above. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. Always. That's beautiful. That's growth. That's empowerment. That's taking responsibility for your past, as Spider does. That's patience, progress, accomplishment, and the complexity. Let's take a look at what Buddha's message is. 34. 34. Feel the peace and tranquility the phoenix brings. As the phoenix rises again, so too can you begin again. Release the idea of self. And if you feel small and if you feel insignificant, release that idea of who you think you are. Release the idea of self. Release any attachment to self or previous attachments and perform deeds that are good. For deeds are enduring, and the deeds, your karma continues. That is a beautiful message from Buddha. And it really resonates and coincide with the law of compensation, that when you do good, you get good. Really, when you do good, you get good. And that's what I teach the kids. Mental transformation. This is beautiful. In Lemurian era, the Lemurian era. All right, I want to start with that one, the Lemurian era. 47. So, this era, spanning approximately 1300 to 26,000 years ago, represents the feminine principle in a planetary cycle. Civilization was awakened to its spiritual self and its place in the universe. It was a time of peace, compassion, and enlightenment. Beings from other star systems openly walked on the planet and assisted the development of humans. This feminine cycle of civilization is now returning, so we are seeing old ways crumbling. This is a natural cycle of planetary development. You pulled this card because you have strong connection to the Lemurian era and is affecting your life now. Let yourself explore this idea in more depth. Interesting. 94. Sirius. It always reminds me of the radio. Sirius. Beliefs, habits, and mental attachments cause most of the distress that we experience as humans. And as rising above, as Buddha mentioned, if we let go of the attachments, beliefs, habits, and mental attachments cause most of the stress we experience as humans. Sometimes we don't even realize we have them. Now that we are making a planetary transition, it requires us to let go of these obstacles to true awakening. Our future Sirius friends who have released these obstacles can help us with this because they provide loving guidance to help us navigate this transition. This card asks you to be truthful about your limiting beliefs and habits, even the positive ones, okay? And open yourself to new, flexible ways of thought and of being. And isn't that a beautiful message from Spirit, that really this card asks you to be truthful about your limiting beliefs and habits, even the positive ones, to open yourself to new and flexible ways of thought and of being. And that's what law of compensation talks about, is what you put out there is what you will get back. So if you open up, an Aquarius, again, very much opening up the intellect, opening up the mind, opening up and seeing the beliefs of what is going on, what could be going on, what is behind the veil. And if you open up your mind, rather than stay in a small little, I have no control, littlest fairy energy, it expands your, I guess, you're opening up your mind, expands your, I'm going to say realization. You realize how infinite, not just the universe is, but the world, the energies, your role in it as a human. We're going through changes, not just planetary changes. The sun, happiness, beautiful. There's 3. This is what happened with pile number 1, the Emperor and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my goodness gracious. They stick together, especially these ones. All right. I am going to put these guys, I'm going to raise this up here, and I am going to change these and put the sun rising above the Wheel of Fortune and the Emperor. Actually, I'm going to put the Emperor. The Emperor was, or was it the Wheel of Fortune hiding? One of the, this is a decision that has to be made. I'm going to put these guys here. And it's just because it's so sticky. And I'm going to put this up here with the complexity of Spider. And then we will put Aquarius like that. All right. That's what we got to do. Let's take a look at the tarot. The Magician. Beautiful. The Eight of Swords. That's what's holding your manifestations back, is that Eight of Swords and the Two of Wands, taking a different path. Taking a look at how things, as this, it was mental transformation talked about, taking a look at your beliefs, at your belief systems, at what it is that you believe to be true, and then asking questions that might change what it is you believe. All right, let's take a look at the pandas. Ace, a brand new beginning with that Ace of Pentacles. Four of Wands. You could be working at home. You feel at home. The Three of Cups with those around you that are loving. And the Two of Cups. You could work with a spouse, or someone that you work with could be becoming a spouse. All right, so let's take a look at, I've got three, the Sun, the Emperor, and the Wheel of Fortune. There are three majors as well. Let's take a look. The Emperor. Let's do I'm going to do it in order. So I'm going to do 4, 10, and the 19. So the Emperor. The Emperor promotes all aspects of the active male principle. And it's funny, we've got the Lumera era, and that's of the past, of the feminine. So now we have balance with the Emperor. He builds, rules, leads, decides, judges, administers, organizes. He begets sons and daughters, marshals, lieutenants, and followers, protects neighbors and citizens. He is the culture itself, especially as the construct of markets and courts, libraries and forts. Tyranny, too, is his unhappy effect, as well as war. And this is Aries energy, all the excess of masculine ambition and competition must be laid at his feet. But when disciplined and wise, he embodies the highest human aspirations to rule ourselves with prudence, vigor, and kindness, to foster splendors of human thought, mental transformation, and handiwork in society. And we've got Aquarius. In a word, to create civilization. Now, your spirit messages are to embody both the masculine with the Emperor and the feminine of creation and ruling the creation of our new society, of humanity. That if you stay in this littlest fairy energy, with the law of compensation here, that's all you will get. You will not step into this Emperor energy of creation. Let's go to the Wheel of Fortune next. This is beautiful. The Wheel of Fortune. And this creator, the Wheel of Fortune, announces the presence of success, luck, and good fortune, and sometimes bad fortune in our lives. We keep in mind her power to toss us high or to cast us down. She admonishes us to take advantage of good fortune and to seize the day, to move resolutely and promptly. She advises us to remember the still center of her wheel, away from the dizzying fringe, where the soul yearns to abide. We dance to the tune played by Fortune, and we can learn to take her vagaries with quantumity. Most of all, her appearance announces the presence of happy happenstance in our lives. Interesting. The Sun. 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 I'm just going to leave that for a second. The sun explodes in joyful rays of energy, the source of all warmth, strength, and light, and sun extends limitless stores of energy to the human soul. Light, brilliance, glory, life. Light, brilliance, glory, life, vitality, exuberance, luxuriousness, happiness, success, and rejoicing is what the sun represents. That is, I'm hearing, what you have to look forward to. Pile number 2, when you step into this Emperor and Lemurian era, when you step into this mental transformation, taking a look at what has happened to you, and from an Aquarius sort of point of view, which is, it can be and is detached. Detach yourself from any and all attachments as rising above, with the Buddha said. Know that what you put out there with the law of compensation is what you're going to get back, and the wheel is always turning, that your soul really wants to reside instead of the fray of the turning wheel within, knowing that you're going to go through highs and lows. The Two of Wands speaks of a different path that needs to be taken, and to get out of your mind with the Eight of Swords to be able to manifest. I see that with this transformation, with all these butterflies, that the Eight of Swords is standing between you manifesting a new path. Do you see that? And with the Four of Wands, this could be you working from home or getting out of the home and going back to work, depending on your situation. Now, the Magician, from this creator, the Magician speaks upon connection, manifestation, and inspired action. Right above that Emperor, and again, I believe he's ruled by Mercury. I believe. Eight of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Two of Wands, the planning, the making decisions and progress, but that Eight of Swords is in the middle of the planning, the making progress. The Eight of Swords is bad thoughts, victim mentality, and imprisonment, which I'm really connecting to feeling small and not appreciating the small little steps that you've made. These negative thoughts are what's really fueling that littlest fairy to be a victim. This is victim mentality, and it's standing in between you manifesting a new pathway. Now, right above the Two of Wands is the Two of Cups. Let's see what the pandas have to say. The Two of Cups is a really beautiful connection between two like-minded people, between two beautiful souls that see each other and recognize each other. Love is in the air, says the Two of Cups. Love is in my fur. I love this deck. Love is you when I look at your eyes. We are just meeting, but I love you. I see you. I know you. I feel you. Our hearts are made of the same stuff, the same fluff, marching to the beat of the same drum. The light attributes are attraction, in sync, finding yourself in another, and kindred spirits. I love that. Kindred spirits. Now, the Three of Cups, the very next card. Nerdy panda, dapper panda, and hipster panda. Each of us is unique, our souls, and it very much speaks to Aquarius. Our souls are radiating in different colors, but we are black and we are white. We are pandas. The light attributes are social acceptance, harmony, celebrating, and a feeling of belonging. And then the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands talks about we are ferocious four and nobody can beat us. When we are together, we are unstoppable because we got each other's pandas' backs, and we always help each other out during times of need. We are home, supportive structure, safety, creativity, creative community, and your family. And this is what's going to bring you. Maybe it starts off with 2, then it goes to 3 like-minded people, then 4. And this is new opportunities, finding those that might also feel like littlest fairies. This is your spirit saying, get out there, manifest a new path, that which you want. Again, you could be creating a new business, having new opportunities come to you through a marriage or a relationship that ends up expanding into a really strong friendship group, and then all of you having each other's back and working together for this Ace of Pentacles, which is the final card. The Ace of Pentacles is goals that can be realized through hard work and dedication. So spring to action. Emperor, absolutely spring to action. And through hard work and dedication. So spring to action and make real your vision. That's the Magician. Once your efforts are thought, your dreams will surely come true. And don't forget, your lucky bamboo. They'll make sure fresh opportunities come to you. So the light attributes are practical action, actualization, abundance, treasure, and opportunity. And it's funny because that's what the message from your spirit guides are basically saying. You have the opportunities, pile number 2, when you connect with like-minded people. What you put out there with the law of compensation, just know it'll come back. And so if you put out love, optimism, if you get out of your head with the 8 of Swords, if you know that you're going to go around and around the wheel of fortune, are you going to jump off that karmic wheel, or are you going to choose a different path? Choosing a different path that might not be the big paved open path that everyone is taking. With Aquarius, that energy of being that quiet rebel, you could be a littlest fairy with that quiet little rebellion within you, but finding the balance between your feminine and masculine sides and taking action towards that which makes you happy, towards that sun, is what your message from your spirits are telling you today. Pile number 2. Get into that Emperor energy. Rise above all the negativity, all that, the mind chatter. Don't feel little, because that's all that, and don't overlook what you've done thus far. Take bigger steps, bolder steps. Do bigger things, bolder things. Because that's how you're going to find your people, your soul tribe, who will support you in everything that you do. And those are the messages that pile number 2, that your spirit guides are telling you. That's what I see for you, and I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care. From your Forest Fairy. Bye for now. Hey there, pile number 3. How are you? It's your Forest Fairy here. Nice to see you again. Well, today's pick a card is, what are the messages from Spirit? What are the Spirit messages for you, pile number 3? Let's get your totem animal out. Spirit messages for pile number 3. Spirit messages for pile number 3. Right there. Spirit messages for pile number 3. Well, that one turned over, so let's take it. Spirit messages for pile number 3. Let's get some fairies on the table. Spirit messages for pile number 3, right there. There's a lot of humidity still here in the 100-acre woods, and so everything is sticky. The cards are curling and sticking to the table, sticking to each other. Pile number 3. I see these ones. Pile number 3. These are spirit messages for you. Get some tarot out. Spirit messages for my pile number 3. Spirit messages for pile number 3. What are the spirit messages for, pile number, there they are, right there. Get our second tarot deck out. Spirit messages for pile number 3. I'm already seeing it. That one jumped out of my hand. So did that one. And we will take this one. And my final. And this will be the final read with this deck, which I love the energy of this deck, the Panda deck. It's so beautiful. It's so playful. It's so cute. So what are the messages from the pandas for my pile number 3? And then what I have called the baby cards. These are the astrological cards. There. Just the one. Just the one. All right. So let's start with that astrological card. Neptune. Neptune. Very dreamy. Dreamy energy. There it is. Neptune asks you, what do I feel? What do I find spiritually fulfilling? Where am I creative? Where is it easy for me to be confused? In Neptune represents dreams, intuition, mysticism, imagination, as well as delusions. Now let's take a look. Free spirit. Free spirit. And that definitely goes together with Neptune, that dreamy, intuitive, mystical feeling of free spirit. Creativity blooms within. New levels of expression are sought for greater richness of reality. To hold within is to deny the light you carry. To share opens you to the abundance of the universe and the gifts you have carried through time. Spoken expression finds receptive outlets. Creation is rich within, and new channels of expression are sought. The physical expression of work done internally, the manifestation of evolution of the spirit. Self-worth expands and intensifies. Self-expression. Your I'm just going to say your spirit guides, and it's spirit messages, but you in particular, if you've chosen pile number 3. So by pile number 3s, this is you not hiding your light anymore. This is you not dulling your shine. This is you going deep within your psychic abilities, your mysticism, into your dreams, into your imagination, and being free within those realms, and then expressing it to the rest of us so that we in fact can see where it is that you're coming from. The guardianship, protection of the dog, companionship, loyalty, faithfulness, caution, stubbornness, sincerity, bravery, and diligence. I'm really picking up with this totem animal that you have been protective. You have been the guardianship of your light. That with your own companionship, you have to be loyal and faithful to the light within. That you might have stubbornly been holding on to it. No one understands me, says your egotistical mind, says your logical mind. No one will understand. People will think I'm crazy. I care way too much about how other people perceive me than to really be my true authentic self. And so it takes bravery, sincerity, and diligence to really unleash your spirit. Oh, look at this one. Excuse me. As I have to just say this, as a mother of 4 boys, this little boy blue, dreams come true, return of the soul. This is exactly what free spirit talks about. This is exactly what Neptune talks about. And so your spirits are telling you to let your spirit free. Look at this little baby. Oh, I had the cutest, I know every mother says this, I know, but my little baby boys, so adorable, so cute, and now we're into teenage years, so they're still really cute boys, teenage boys that are growing up so quickly into young men. They're not there yet. I'm still in boy phase. My oldest just turned, so when all the boys are odd, the girl is even, and when the boys are even, the girl is odd. So right now I've got 17, 15, 13, and 11, and the girl is 10. So for the next 6 months, and it's always my Scorpio boy that sort of changes. He will then go from 11 to 12 and turn even, which sets the boys all into the evens, and then the girl goes odd. So dreams come true, return of the soul. Lighten up and feel joy, for your hopes are going to be given form. Feeling in spirit. Free that spirit. New projects are coming into the world. The discovery of a gift. Babies, children, innocence, laughter, letting go of old concepts and ideas that no longer serve. Approaching life with an open heart of a child. This is a card representing someone who is at home with their sensitivity, their psychic abilities, which Neptune had spoke of, yes, and who is able to help the world simply through being themselves. That is your spirit message. Be yourself. Who they are at their core, and using their beautiful, innate, and intuitive, again, Neptunian, intuitive abilities. That's what the fairies are saying. That's what your spirit's saying. Let's see what Buddha's saying. Luminous and alive, what you feel, you attract. Let's take a look. Luminous, does not speak of the inner child, really, the soul, the spirit. Pondering on the origin of birth and death. And we have a little baby boy right here. The Buddha recognized that ignorance is the root of all suffering, which leads to the development of life, called the 12 I'm going to say where the emphasis is. Okay. Nidanas. That's where it is. Nidanas. Number 1. In the beginning, there is a blind existence. Existence without knowledge. Number 2. There is a sea of ignorance. There is formative and organized stirrings. 3. From these stirrings rise awareness or feelings. 4. Feelings generate organisms that live as individual beings. 5. These organisms develop the 6 fields, the 5 senses, and the mind. The 6 fields come into contact with other things. 7. Contact generates sensation. 8. Sensation creates the thirst, the cravings for individualized being. 9. The thirst of being creates a clinging on to things. 10. The clinging produces the growth and continuation of selfhood. 11. Selfhood continues into renewed birth. And 12. The renewed births of selfhood are the causes of suffering, old age, sickness, and death, and they produce anxiety and despair. Lamentation, lament. Lamentation. When given the choice to be connected or disconnected, listen to your heart. Feel the heart's wisdom shine upon you like rays of light. Compassion generates more compassion. Happiness, more happiness. Peacefulness, more peacefulness. Lean into those things and stir the soul and trust that the soul will lean back. All these cards thus far, sweet, pile number 3, is all about you doing the soul work. You finding what it is that brings out the free spirit, the soul, the imagination, the psychic abilities, the mystified, just being in awe and wonder of everything that's around you, from animals that are either on your land, in your neighborhood, from seeing a spider's web, from being fascinated by butterflies and catching one, looking at it, letting it fall on your hand. There are so many wonders in delight when it comes to the dreams that come true. Return of the soul. This is you really doing the soul work, and this is what your spirit messages are. Let's take a look at the galactic fusion and magic, where it's all about magic. And the Atlantean era, Earth of the past. Orion. Let's take a look. Just gonna take a drink. Needed a drink on that one. All right, let's get to it. Galactic heritage 48. This era, this is Earth and it's the past. This era, spanning approximately the past 13,000 years, represents a masculine principle of planetary cycle. This cycle is often represented by, and it's funny, we've got baby boy blue right there. This cycle is often represented by polarity, war, ignorance, and confusion about spiritual identity. It is a time of darkness and sleep. Humanity is moving out of this cycle now, and we are seeing the old ways crumbling. Do not be discouraged by what you see around you. Consider it a sign that humanity is awakening again. You have had many significant lives in this era and are releasing karmic patterns that you've held for a very long time. Continue your spiritual work. Free yourself. This is exactly what we have been talking about. 55. Orion. Orion energy, deeply polarized, went through a dramatic healing process in which those polarities fused together to create a powerful energy that fueled their society's transformation. Whenever two forces collide within us, it creates a process of fusion that releases an intense energy for manifestation. Oh. Well, this is the basis of what we call magic. Oh, don't I believe? Absolutely. I believe in magic. I see magic every day. I've experienced magic. I know for a fact, and sure, call it my opinion, call it, but I'm telling you, growing a baby inside of you is magic. Because I go about my everyday and don't know exactly what cells are being produced and reproduced, and it goes from two single cells. Think about this. Just think about this. Two single cells, one sperm, one egg, coming together just like this. Two forces collide within us. And it does when you get pregnant. It comes together within you. And it creates a process of fusion. And from those two single cells, in really a short 9 months, a baby is born. Like, look at all the details, from hair to ears to eyelashes to little elbows and knuckles and nails and little babies, little baby cheeks and chins and lips and noses, just little tiny eyeballs, eyelashes. Like, everything on the inside and the outside was all done without you, meaning the mother, being aware, because she's taking other children, she's going to work, she's doing whatever. Now, isn't that magic? That's magic. That is magic. So whenever two forces collide within us, it creates a project of fusion that releases an intense energy for manifestation. This is the basis of what we call magic. The fusion of two opposite energies that are harnessed and directed in a desired way. This is why it's important to embrace both the shadow and the light sides within us. Then we create magical transformation. Embrace your abilities as a magician. Embracing both shadow and light to create magic. Don't deny the light. Embrace it. Fuse it with your light. Know that it's that shadow side. And aren't we living within, it seems like a shadow. It seems like it right now in the Matrix. But you, with every single light out there, all you pile number threes, all you pile threes are lights. You have chosen this pile to hear the message from Spirit that you are magic, that you have psychic abilities, that you are discovering and unleashing your free spirit, your soul. Absolutely. Let's see what the tarot has. This is beautiful. 4 of Cups. Cancer, and we're in Cancer season. And the 10 of Swords. All right, the ending of. Let's see what this tarot deck has. The Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady. Moving forward, that which you might not see with the moon, and also Neptune. Piscean energy, 12th house, the Queen of Pentacles of creation. This is the minor to me. The Queen of Pentacles is the minor to the major, which is the Empress. So this is creation. This is birthing. This is mothering. Beautiful. And the Knight does what the Queen wishes. The Sun. The Pandas, the 2 of Wands, a choice that must be made, and planning as to which direction you're going to go. And the 7 of Pentacles, a timing card. That of all the work that the Knight of Pentacles is putting in will and does create your happiness. The 2 of Wands, and which one am I going to choose? Which way? Where am I going to go on this earth? What is this ending card? I need to know what this is about. The 7, I almost said 7 of Swords. The 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords. Let's take a look. I want to read what this creator says about the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords. This is the glyph of the sun. And we have the sun right there. I just noticed that. The 10 of Swords. Like a terrible push pin cushion, or a thicket of young trees pierced a pronged figure on the final card of the suit of swords. The hair of the unhappy person flows away like water, like spilled blood. The sword penetrates. They pin the victim to the earth. Being stuck, literally or figuratively, can be the most terrible travail. Living beings must move and grow. Immobility, whether painful or not, whether self-inflicted or externally imposed, can be endured but must ultimately end. Okay. This really speaks to me about the lockdowns. This really speaks to me about the amount of fear that has been pushed into the collective. That you, pile number 3, your spirit messages are to free your spirit. Your spirit is saying that it's time to get moving. It's time to stop feeling pinned down, whether that be from external or internal forces. A striking emblem of defeat, the image also promises the transformation and rebirth that comes after complete dissolution. The dawn, and we have the sun right here, the dawn that comes after the darkest night, the card celestial emblem of the sun and Gemini right here. Disaster, problems, disappointments, being pinned down, stuck in a difficult situation, but in the depths of the total abnegation are surrenders individuality and ego, uniting with the earth and waters. From this deep low point, one can rise like the phoenix to begin again. And the 4 of Cups is right next to it. And right above it is the Queen of Pentacles. So, the 4 of Cups. Luxury, plenitude, overflowing, the overwhelming fertility of watery forces. Lunar, and it's right below the moon. Influences, the dangers of overindulgence, drowning in abundance, embarrassment of riches. 4 cups rise from dark waters, and this speaks of darkness on the most watery of all the cards. The crab floats up and reaches towards a glowing moon right there. Planet of intuition, Neptune, and feminine power. The crab is connected to 2 overflowing cups, which bear the sigils of the moon and Cancer. The other 2 cups are full to the rim, inviting the superabundant fertility and generosity of water. From the moon, like emancipating waves, come fertile visions, insights, and direction. The moon is the watery star and the constellation of the crab in its true home. A surprised little fish pops up to witness the grand ongoings of water, moon, and crab. Right there. Beautiful. This is really talking about that which you do not see. The moon, the energy of healing, of water, of emotion, of your soul, of your free. It's almost like this card speaks to me about freeing your spirit. Let your dreams come true. Discover your magic. Go deep within the watery realms of the cup family. And then grounding yourself, bringing those dreams into reality with the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a very hardworking queen. That's why Capricorn represents her. Very hardworking. And yet we have the moon. So again, taking an in-between, the Knight of Pentacles, which is that slow and steady night, and the Queen of Pentacles is this watery moon. Is this that which you cannot see? You cannot see your dreams come true until you put the work into it, as the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles knows. So, the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is, in this small little book, efficiency, responsibility, and routine. The Queen of Pentacles, practicality, creature comforts, nurturing, and the moon. Again, they're just 3 or 4 words that go along, like kind of like keywords or whatever in this tiny little book. And the moon is fear, illusion, subconscious, and intuition. You could, and when I see the word fear. This is the first word up. That is what you could be ending fear, looking towards the sun as we have the glyph of the sun, moving towards the sun with ideas, as this is the Sun in Gemini card, the Ten of Swords, the ending of the old way of thinking, the old patterns into the new way of thinking. The sun, as let's see what the pandas have to say with the sun. This is the happiest card in the deck. I am quite positive that the world is a bright, bright place, that the sun in the sky, the wind in my face and the grass tickling my toes. Wonderful, isn't it? Don't you wish we could always see the world just like this, so full of light and so alive? I believe your spirit is saying that with the release of your spirit, the depths of your soul, with your imagination and discovering of your magic, that you are going to put an end to what you see the world to be. Do you see the world as overflowing and loving as the sun does, that you're putting the work into? And we have both the sun and the moon, oppositions, just like the male and female, oppositions, two colliding, opposing forces coming together to create, as I mentioned with my pregnancy, little babies. This is the sun and the moon, the divine masculine, the sun with the divine feminine, the moon colliding together. This is what your spirit messages are, is to find these magical energies within your own soul, within your spirit, within your shadow self. Fear of maybe the shadow self, fear of what you cannot see, of what you do not know, and then the illumination of the sun, the shadow and the light, the sun and the moon, the male and the female, all within, all coming together to create something brand new. Wow. Wow, wow. Pile number 3. So the light attributes of the sun are honesty, truth, openness, illumination, innocence, and inner child, which we have right there with little boy blue. 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands. The pandas are saying, so many possibilities and adventures to be had. Where should I go? The sparkling lake beyond the shadow bamboo forest, or the valley of willow dragons? They're both so fun, and I want to undertake them all. The light attributes are brainstorming, considering possibilities, and excitement for the future. But the shadow, I'm going to read both. The shadow attributes, overcommitment, never settling down, and the irresponsibility of never settling down or making decisions. 7 of Pentacles, last card out, the 7 of Pentacles. What's this new development? No worries, everything is still going according to plan, just like the Knight of Pentacles loves, and the Queen for that matter. A few minor adjustments, still staying on course. This panda knows what he's fishing for, but his butt is really made for sitting. Light attributes, strategy, evaluation, research, taking stock, redistribution of resources, and the shadow, impatience, disorganization, chaotic measurements, and disruption. This is really telling you, pile number 3, that you are going about with the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the taking stock, the reevaluation, maybe the moving of resources to really be able to take a new path, to end that path that maybe that you've been on of fear, of what you cannot see with the moon, of fear, and to ending that into love, leaving the old path of fear and making plans to take that a really well thought out plan of love, of how do I make my dreams come true, how do I tap into my magic. And this is what the collision of 2 very powerful opposing energies or forces to create something absolutely brand new, like little boy blue there. And that's what I see for you. Those are your spirit messages, pile number 3. That's what I see. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care from your forest fairy. Bye for now.